A moment with the video.
Yes. First day is confusing to me that I intended to ask this committee to have during the proceedings of tomorrow and done in fact. Chair, we are as the only institution of process here, we are going to sit to deal with all issues to do with our budget, which is now being handled by the Committee of Parliament, and our team is already appearing before the Committee on Infrastructure over the same. And we have to have everything handled tomorrow, including issues to do with our roads, the infrastructure in Kampala, the ADB loan, and all these other issues. So we had set aside the whole of tomorrow to deal with the same as the topmost leadership of the city to prepare accordingly. So I was going to request the committee that we push all these matters to Thursday.
We shall make a ruling on that, and then we supply you the information appropriately. Can you play now?
And I participated as played in the video.
Thank you. Secondly, in the video clip in the CCTV camera, we have just watched Honorable Francis Zaake appears to have refused to comply with the orders of the Speaker when ordered to resume his seat. Can you also inform this committee about your opinion regarding the conduct of the Honorable Zaake?
The conduct of Honorable Zaake was as a result of equally unusual conduct of the presiding officer, because after the Honorable Zaake had caught the eye of the presiding officer and he was allowed to submit on a matter not of national importance, get me right, and there is a dichotomy, a very thin one between the two, on a matter not of national importance, but a matter of urgent public importance. It is even well enshrined in our rules of procedure. A matter of urgent public importance does not require even to give notice or to have it correlated with whatsoever the proceedings of the House, because there were ongoing abductions, massive. And so therefore, it looked unusual to discontinue the member from submitting or raising the matter. And that's why you saw me comply with the Speaker's direction when he said, Rob, talk to your member. I was pleading to him to relax and cool down so that sanity would prevail and the presiding officer would allow him to conclude on the matter.
For clarity, Rose, because of the unusual conduct, or the conduct of the Honorable Zaake was also in resonance with the unusual conduct of the presiding officer. For clarity, can you make me also understand the unusual conduct of the presiding officer?
You have not dispensed justice to my humble request that I placed in your office, respectfully. It was my considered view that the Honorable Presiding Officer then would have been the right person to raise that question, especially if I doubted his usual conduct. But now that you have done a complete opposite of what I requested, respectfully let me say this, that it is the Speaker who allows a member to submit, and indeed the member had caught his eye. And he was in the middle of the point, and this was unequivocally clear that it was bordering on the gross human rights violations that were ongoing. And I therefore found it very unusual, not merely unusual alone, but actually unusual for him because I know him as a very fair presiding officer. But that particular day, that he would discontinue a member mid-sentence, in mid-submission, to me, it didn't augur well, it didn't look usual, and it wasn't prudent.
So equally, the presiding officer was disorderly in ordering the Honorable Zaake.
Those are your descriptive words of the presiding officer.
How would you put it now? In any case,
the presiding officer enjoys lots of latitude because in his opinion, that's what the rules say. And in his opinion, if he found that a member was grossly disorderly, he would be at liberty to discontinue him. But where do you read disorderliness in his submission? When he was submitting, he was clear, precise, concise, and to the point. He was only cut short, and in this being unusually cut short is when he lost his cool somehow. Okay. And remained standing. Standing is what I object to. When the presiding officer is speaking, you are supposed to resume, and that is order, is in our rules. Yes. Order of the house, order of speech. That's where I saw things going astray. And he allowed the corrections. He allowed me to speak to him, and he resumed his seat.
Okay. Thank you. 444 of the answers of the 29th November 2022 to have stated, Mr. Speaker, no, to the Speaker when he requested, you as acting law, then to control him in your opinion, is this a conduct unbecoming of a member of parliament?
When one says no, it doesn't constitute. One remains standing when the presiding officer has taken over the floor. That's where I saw it unusual. That's when I rose. But mere no had virtually nothing to do with gross misconduct.
Okay. Finally, yes. Honorable Nambesh, you are on record to have tendered an apology to the Speaker and the entire House over the call. Was it an expression of regret for the manner in which the Honorable Zaake Francis conducted himself?
I don't know as an apology, but in that submission, I put up a spirited defense for the substance in the point that had been raised by the Honorable Zaake, by the way. But in commencement, indeed, I had to plead with the House to bear with us on our side of the political divide for whatever, and mark and underline that, for whatever mishaps would mean whatever unfortunate happenings, for whatever, I didn't lay a finger, for whatever, because it had degenerated into an impasse, by the way. Me, the only unusual was when he remained standing. But that he was still advancing his point by saying no, to me that was not misconduct.
Okay.
So in any case, it was courteous on the part of the leader of the opposition, who was then in Nambesh John Baptist, to ask the House, out of courtesy, to bear with us. But I don't think it constitutes apology.
Thank you. We have new members who have just joined this committee, and all. If you have any question or clarification you want to post to him to.
We have the LOP, we have yourself and the team on the opposition. The point Honorable Zaake was raising was a point of abductions. However, there are unmentioned procedures which could be in the House, whereby we lobby one another. You can lobby government, the government side can also lobby you people on a particular matter of their interest. When the presiding officer stopped the matter halfway, in my own observation or thinking, it showed that there were prior dialogue going on between the two sides of the House. I would like to inquire from you, are you privy, were you aware of any prior dealings on this matter which was on the table or on the floor of Parliament at that time, which my brother, the Honorable Zaake, tried to raise on the floor of Parliament before we judge the presiding officer then?
Yeah, thank you very much. I was the one leading the team, and indeed it was a fruitful interface which arrived at an amicable resolution. And in that meeting, it was unanimously adopted that I, Nambesh John Baptist, leading the opposition then, report to the House what has transpired, what we have arrived at. That's why it was uncalled for on the part of my own member, to have misunderstood me to be making commitments on behalf of government, when I was merely a messenger reporting what had transpired and what we had agreed upon, which was equally agreeable to the aggrieved, the Honorable Zaake. So I saw the punishment rather high-handed after we had reached an amicable resolution on the matter.
Thank you.
The fact that you rightly say that you are...
The microphone is not on, be on record.
You rightly say that Honorable Zaake lost his cool when the speaker stopped him, and you were called to come and make your member understand whatever the situation was. Don't you think that was courteous of the speaker to have invited you as the leader of opposition to come and cool your members? Because at the worst scenario, it would have been, the speaker would have thrown Honorable Zaake completely out of the House. Thank you.
Maybe you first receive them and then you respond accordingly.
But this one raised a supportive argument
please
on my
proceed.
response, because in any case, the speaker retreated, in fact, invited us to his chambers. That's how we resolved the matter. We never even expected the Honorable Zaake to be referred to this committee. We thought the matter had been rested.
Just want a clarification from Honorable Nambesh. When I came in, you were trying to explain that Honorable Zaake was saying no, and according to you, that no meant nothing. At the time when he was saying no, was he seated or was standing?
Oh, you switch off.
And it was in that spirit that we invited the committee to exercise its discretion to consider these witnesses as necessary witnesses, as relevant witnesses. And in the wisdom of the committee, you resolved from amongst the names we submitted to invite two. So I just wanted that record to be set straight, Chair. Having said that, Chair, just have a couple of questions to the witness of the committee. One, Honorable Nambesh, if I may be permitted.
Oh, yes, proceed.
You've said that you didn't expect actually the speaker to refer the Honorable Zaake to this committee. Are you surprised that he was summoned? I mean, he was referred to the committee?
In fact, I was not only surprised, but shocked at once.
Yes.
Because I remember approaching the speaker to reverse the ruling, but it was already too late. At worst, it would have been suspending him for the remainder of the day. If indeed whatever he had done would amount to or attract some form of punishment.
Okay. Now, what is captured in the answer here? At a point where you are requested to talk to the Honorable Zaake, and there was that mishap you talked about, the speaker suspended, the presiding officer, rather, the deputy speaker, suspended the proceedings for 5 minutes. Did you participate in any meeting during that interval? If so, because you were there as the leader of opposition that time. If so, what did you discuss with the speaker in regards to this impasse, this stalemate? What did you discuss and how was it resolved?
In fact, I was leading the team from opposition. Of course, in the absence of the Honorable Zaake. And whatever we actually did, and I actively participated in the proceedings of that meeting, and we all justified the anger and the zest and the verve by which the Honorable Zaake raised the issue. The substance in it is that there had been abductions, there were still ongoing mysterious disappearances of people, and unaccounted for, like I reported. So that's why, reporting back to the House, the agreement was that it should be the leader of the opposition to report. And in fact, whatever I reported was not in dispute. Otherwise, the Speaker would have objected to it.
So it was by consensus, whatever you reported was by consensus, including the Speaker himself agreeing to that?
Yes.
And here, I take you now to the Hansard, because in what you reported, Chair and honorable members, what I have on the Hansard, page 6444, the mishaps that had happened, where you are saying, thank you, Mr. Speaker, I would like to seek your indulgence and that of the House to bear with us on this side of the political aisle for whatever mishaps. Just wanted to request you to substantiate what you meant, the mishaps that had happened, which you appear to be, to regret on the floor.
The regrettable happening, which was unfortunate, was for a member to remain standing when he had been discontinued in his speech, even if it is unfair attitude that he enjoys, courtesy of the rules. When he speaks and requests you to even resume your seat and remain standing, that in and of itself would border defiance. And that was the unfortunate happening.
Had you discussed it in the retreat that you had with the Speaker?
Of course, the Speaker was asked by this defiance on the part of the Honorable Zaake, even after he pleaded with him that you are my voter. You saw him pleading. We need each other. So he was charged and angry. So to cool him down, of course, one had to commence with this admission to mishaps, to an unfortunate happening when the member did not comply with the Speaker's request to resume his seat.
Did that feature in your discussion in the retreat you had within those 5 minutes when the proceedings had been suspended? Did it feature there that you discussed that mishap and the Speaker agreed to the fact that you are going to render an apology, you are going to register that regret when the House resumes?
From inception, it is what formed the discussions. Okay. Because in the opinion of the Speaker, the member had been gravely disorderly. So ours was to justify the statement he raised, that that statement would not be prima facie defamatory to any person. And eventually, we resolved that impasse because of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you share that with the Honorable Zaake, the proceedings that transpired in that meeting?
There was no need sharing with him, especially when we had assigned. You know, I gave assignment to the Honorable Segona. The Honorable Segona, unfortunately, is not here, to engage the Honorable Zaake as I report to the House, because I had an assignment by that meeting to report whatever had transpired in the House successfully when he engaged the Honorable Zaake.
Okay. The very last question on that particular matter. When indeed you took that bold step to say yes, you are regretting the mishap that had happened, and the Speaker agreed to the same, was it the understanding in that meeting that once you put it on record, it would put the matter to rest?
That's what I expected, but I think when the Speaker read the uncoordinated movement of our own troops, a member putting his leader to order, even when the member, he was, by the way, putting up a spirited defense in support of the Honorable Zaake. So I think the Speaker, again lost his cool and arrived at that verdict.
After that, after you put that on record, did the Honorable Zaake stand up again to protest against what you put on record?
No.
Did he in any way attack the Speaker or in any way express any dissatisfaction with the conduct, with what you had put on record?
No.
And did he in any way indulge in any act that would offend the Speaker?
No.
So even when the Honorable Shaba raised that point of order, was he doing it for and on behalf of the Honorable Zaake?
No, it was populist of sorts, because there was no justification him derailing the House from what I was raising as a commitment by government. And at his level, I expected him to have understood me. And incidentally, he had participated in the meeting where we were, and he knew I was the one to report.
Okay. Now, you also said you took exception of the conduct of the Speaker in stopping the member midway his submission on a matter of that importance, grave as it was. What was the response of the Speaker to your concerns when you were in the meeting?
I wish they replayed the Speaker's communication soon after that point of order. He was very angry. He said nobody, and in fact, he was referring to me, because in any case he had forgotten that I was reporting. So he thought I was challenging his authority to shift the House to matters of national importance. He had forgotten that I was supposed to report, by the way. But you see how angry he was?
Yes.
He never meant well, in fact, never meant well. I only insisted that let me conclude the point. You saw me struggling to get back to the mic. That point of order, whether it had been, I don't want to say this, but let me say with difficulty, stage managed act, the person of the Speaker.
Oh, it was stage managed by?
I can't tell, because it was uncalled for. You better dissect that one. And if you were me, the person who raised point of order should have been a witness. It was uncalled for, it was uncourteous, and full of malice. And therefore, I hold it in suspicion that could have been stage managed. By who? I don't know.
Please, for clarity, stage managed?
I mean, it didn't come in good faith, especially when what I was raising was merely a message from where he had also participated. And being a member on my side of the political divide, I don't think he would be in sharp disagreement with the report I was giving and misinterpret it as a commitment by government.
How many were you in that chamber, in the office of the speaker?
Oh, to ascertain the number.
Yes.
The best person maybe could be the technical officers to go back to the CCTV cameras to establish that number, because we were our team of opposition and that of government. Government, by the way, constituted over 10 ministers.
All the 10 ministers were in that?
Yes, that's a big room, by the way.
Did all of them speak at that time?
Of course, this is another meeting.
Okay.
Chaired by the speaker.
In 5 minutes?
But
within the 5 minutes?
Our side, was it 5 minutes? It stretched slightly.
Okay.
It stretched slightly.
Thank you. If there is any other, are you done?
Concluded.
Okay, please.
Yes. Because actually,
allow counsel
I was
to conclude.
moving to that particular question.
Myself, the Honorable Medat Segona, the Honorable Oshabe Patrick Nsamba, where is? This thing happened a long time ago. By the way,